Hello, my cyber babies. How's my family doing out there in cyber world? It's the even more fabulous Dr. Mother Love coming to you live and in living color. Okay, well, as opposed to coming to you dead in black and white. Because this guest, I don't even want to call her a guest. I want to call her a phenomenon. I want to call her genius. I want to call her beautiful and down to earth and just so full of love. And that's what we do. We share the love, we bring the love. And today we are going to share the love of none other than Madame Tuesday Connor, who is a fashion designer. Oh, she done hooked the sister up on several occasions. Fashion designer, a producer. She is so into her community. This is the kind of service that this woman gives. Ladies and gentlemen, the inimitable Tuesday Connor. Welcome, Tuesday. Look at them
Thank you
dimples. Oh, I
so
said I get this. You could
thank
be
you so
cussing.
much.
Wait a minute. You could be cussing somebody out, and when your mouth go like this, and your dimples come in, they go like, "Okay, I'm sorry too." I mean, because the dimples alone are just take you away. And I know that our son was born, well, he wasn't born with dimples. When they put him in my arm, he did like this, looked at me when they took him out, like, "Oh, you the one?" And so I'm holding him in my arms, and I'm like, no instructions, no directions. And I'm like shaking like the cowardly, like, what am I gonna do with that baby? And it was like God did it. Because that's where you got it from. God did this to y'all face.
Oh,
How about that? And dimples don't lie. So, girl, tell me what's up, what you been doing. You're doing the do. You're always doing something. So tell people about Tuesday Connor and why we love you so much. Okay, that's my part. Okay, tell us about Tuesday Connor. Where'd you grow up? Got brothers and sisters? How's your family life?
thank you, Mother Love.
It's my
I
pleasure.
am doing so fine. I was born and raised here in Los Angeles. I was
Wait, oh, be still my heart. They got Los Angeles that was like born here. Oh, okay. I thought it was a myth.
no, and
So you
one
were
of my
born
one of my dearest friends, her name is Saida Garrett. She was born right here too. So we are like two of the heartbeats of Los Angeles.
well, we like the fact that you have allowed us to come in and be on your turf. Because I'm a transplant. And when people say, where do you live? I said, I live in California. No, no, no. Where you from? I'm like, Cleveland, Ohio. So you going to move back there? I'm like, only if I'm going to be the governor. So you were born and raised right here in Southern Cal. So you have always been attracted to the industry, attracted to fashion. Where did that come from? Wait, no, first,
Well,
okay, tell me about your family. You got brothers and sisters?
yes, my brother.
Wait, what happened? I lost her whole call. Okay, well, she's going to be coming back and she'll patch back in to the show, and we'll find out about her life and her background and all of the things that she has done, continues to do, and will do in the future. So just let me give you just a little bit about Miss Tuesday Connor. From the start of an idea through the final creation and production, Tuesday's work is dedicated to enhancing the quality of an actor's performance, providing believability. I love that word. Providing believability to the actor and the audience for the most. Okay. I told you she was going to come back in. Technical, get back. So I'm just telling them, reading your accolades. So tell me about your brother. You said you have a brother. That's where we ended, where we left off.
My brother and my sister, Lynn and Tony, I grew up with him. But a few years ago, I discovered more brothers and a sister. And so I've been hanging out with them, and we love each other, and we are making up for lost time.
Oh my goodness.
So,
When did you find out and how many did you find out about? So is this from your father?
my mother married my stepfather when I was 2. So he's the
Mhm.
only father I've ever known. I
Okay.
knew about the other one, but I didn't have anything to do with him. And so when he died, his wife asked me if I wanted to come to the funeral. So that's the first time I officially met him. And
Wait, wait a minute. Your biological father passed away,
yes,
and his wife asked you to come to the funeral.
yes.
Did
She didn't ask me directly. She called one of my cousins and she says, "You know how to find Tuesday?" And she knew she did. And so she called me up.
What did you
And
say? She knew she did it. You knew she
yeah,
was behind the whole thing. So now your stepfather's the only father that you knew. So
yeah.
what was that like when you found out that it's just not my sister and my brother and I?
It was the ordeal was, well, I've always known about my one of my brothers and sister. I've
Mhm.
always known about them since they were born because my cousin always kept me in touch with what the family was. And although I had nothing to do with my biological father, his family all gave me a double dose of love. So I grew up. My stepfather didn't have family, and so I had a dad with no family and a family with no dad. So
That's that sounds like a book title. Okay, so go ahead.
I'm working on the movie. I'm
Oh,
working
okay.
on the movie because
My bad.
literally, I was in the living room of my biological father when his wife announced that, oh, she wanted to introduce me to the family. And I'm like, did you just tell everybody, like, just now at this very second, at this moment?
Wait a minute.
So
Now this is after the funeral.
this is the day before the funeral.
Okay, go ahead.
So I felt like I was stuck somewhere in between a bad movie and a Twilight Zone episode because all this dirt came up, and I'm like, this is dirt that I didn't have nothing to do with 50 years ago, and y'all are putting me in the mix of some dirt, and all kinds of stuff came out. So yes, mother love, there will be a movie.
That has to be a movie because I mean some and they don't want to tell you, and then it's at the most inopportune time oftentimes. So now were they from Los Angeles?
My mother was raised in Phoenix, Arizona. That's
Uh-huh.
where my grandparents live. My mother, they moved. My mother moved there with my grandma. My grandfather moved to Phoenix a few months ahead, got
Uh-huh.
everything ready, and sent for his family. So by
Hmm.
the time mom got there, I think she was 2 weeks old or 2 months old. I can't
Uh-huh.
remember which one. But Phoenix is her home, so we went to Phoenix every summer and Christmas to visit our grandparents.
That's
So
wonderful. Okay, now back to
so
the drama with
then
them telling you about your birth father right the day before his funeral, and you had never met this man. He never reached out.
I I actually saw him a few times because he has seven brothers and sisters. And so each time one of them passed away, we were both at the funeral. And
Okay.
my cousin would point at a group of men and say, Tuesday, they're your daddy over there.
Okay, so now how old were you when they just took you and just stuck you in the middle? Did you feel like you got ambushed? And how old were you?
Oh, this was like about 6 years ago.
Oh wait, see, you're
I
an
got
adult.
brand new sister and brother. Oh, and then this
Wait a minute,
other,
so all of you are adults together, you and your first cousins?
yes,
Are
yes.
any of you the same age
No, I'm the oldest.
of all the children?
Yes.
Okay, and how many children are genetically connected to you? Oh,
Well,
that's a lot. I saw
Lynn,
your eyes go around 4, 5, 6, 20. Okay, okay, go
well,
ahead.
Lynn and Tony were born before me, and I was raised with them.
Mm-hmm.
Jermaine and Sam came a year and 2 years after I was born.
Mm-hmm.
And then one day on my DNA chart, somebody showed up named Derek. So I called my little brother up and I was like, who's Derek? He goes, who? I said, who is Derek? He said, let me call you back.
Oh,
So 2 days later, he called me back and
mm-hmm.
he says, we have a brother. And he says, you're 6 months older than him. So my biological dad, he had my mom pregnant. No, no. I was 6 months old when he walked out on my mom, and he had another lady pregnant. And so he was born 6 months later. And then 6 months later, he had uh, another child. So,
Wait a minute,
in
by the same woman?
three women. In
Okay, because
one
I was going to say, how you
yeah,
go? Okay, I'm trying to do the
in
math in my head.
yeah,
And I'm
in
like,
one
wait,
year he had a newborn, a 6-month-old, and got married to a third person.
that is way, way. How did you feel when they came in and just dropped this on you? And the fact that it was at your biological father's the day before his funeral.
Yeah.
Did you said you felt like you was in an episode of the Twilight Zone?
It,
Oh, her car keeps dropping, but it'll go. See, that's the devil trying to stop us from getting the truth, from understanding what goes on in the dynamic of families, because and especially when you're a kid and you don't even know what the heck is going on because we don't talk about our past. You don't talk about that. That's taboo. You don't talk
yeah.
about you got Uncle Junior. We got the slider tray up under the door because you can't let him get out. And here you go. What was your first reaction when what was the first sentence and what was the first sentence that you remember when they were bringing this situation to you?
I remember I was in the living room and I didn't know anybody in the living room except me. And the it was just announced. I want to say my stepmother, my new stepmother. She just
Yeah.
said, she says, everyone, I want to introduce you to Sam's firstborn. Well, you could have heard a pin drop. There was probably about 30 people in the house.
Oh,
And Julia, who is my stepmother,
mhm.
I remember her mother was freaking out. Her mom was freaking out, but it was a lull, and I don't remember staying too long, but the funeral was the next day, and it was just quite strange. It was just the whole ordeal was like, I'm telling you, like out of your body kind of experience, where, and I remember my new brother Sam. That's why I call him my new brother. My new brother Sam. He's had a gumbo party the Saturday after Thanksgiving for about 25 years. And I've heard about it for maybe about 10 years. And I'm
Mhm.
like, I'm gonna crash his party. I'm gonna crash his party. Well, when his father died, I was like, okay, well, I guess I don't have to crash the party no more. I'm just gonna go. And so when I did, and that was in November, he passed away probably a day or two before my birthday.
Your
So
new
I got
brother?
no, my biological
Oh,
father
okay, okay.
passed away about a day or two before my birthday.
When's your
So when I
birthday?
got the phone call, I was like, well, his death was my birthday present.
Wait a minute. When's your birthday?
July 5th?
Oh, so, okay, that's right after the big holiday that they have here,
Yeah,
the 4th of July,
yeah,
and
yeah.
that's what your birthday present was.
Yeah, that was
Who
my
called
birthday
you and
present.
told you?
But
One of the cousins you said called and
my
told you. So did you ever
my
ask yourself?
cousin,
Go ahead.
well, I did. My cousin Sammy is the one who told me,
Mhm.
and we've been in touch ever since I can remember being on this planet.
Mm.
But she's the one who called me and told me because Julia had called her and said Julia wants to know if you know where Tuesday is, and she did. And so Julia, invited me to Phoenix, but I had seen my father a few times at his siblings' funerals,
Mm.
but he never approached me, never spoke to me. And my cousin Sammy, she would always go Tuesday, and it'd be a group of men, and she says, "There's your daddy." But I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Go over there and walk over to them like 8 men and say, "Which one of y'all is my daddy?"
Oh,
So
she was trying to fuel the fire with some more drama. Go over there and pick him out. You got it. You
okay.
got 8. Go in there and pick him out.
Yeah. And then I remember one day Sammy's husband, my cousin Bobby, he held up this picture with about 8 men in it. He
Mm.
goes, "Tuesday, I guess you don't even know which one is your daddy." So I was like, well, that's Uncle Doug, that's Uncle Bernard, that's Uncle D, that's
Oh,
Auntie Lena
so
Mae,
you
the
won
last.
by process of elimination.
Yeah. knew all of them. Okay, I spent time with all of them
Oh,
except him. Yeah, except him.
so did he ever acknowledge you as his daughter?
No, I called him one time. I was about 16 years old and I was in Phoenix, and I don't know how his name came up, but my cousin Lisa was like, "Oh, I know his phone number. I'll call him." And so she called him and I got on the phone and I just said, "Hi, this is Tuesday." And I remember icicles, just like complete, like cold. He was so cold. I didn't even want to talk to him. I just remember saying, "Okay, well, I just wanted to say hi," and I hung up because he was so
And
cold.
you could feel that through the telephone.
I could feel it through the telephone. I could feel,
Yeah.
and we were in Phoenix, Arizona at the time, so you know how cold that was.
That was cold. And
So
Phoenix does not get cold, I don't remember.
yeah,
Yeah.
but the beautiful thing about that is that his family, each and every one, and not just his sister and all his brothers, but their kids, they each gave me a double dose of love to this very day. That's like cousin Tuesday. She like the special one, and they all give me just a double dose of love.
Because you're
They
magical.
never,
You're magical
yeah,
and an
and they
inspiration.
never they never have ever made me feel like I'm not part of the family. They're always very happy to see me, and just and even my new brothers and sisters, we get together and we are making up for all the lost time. One day, my new brother calls me up. He says, "I rented a yacht." He's like, "We're all going on a yacht." So he flew into LA and he chartered this lot, and we just all went on a boat ride
How about
so
that?
and then his wife, I love her to death. She called the wine country and made reservations, and we all went up to not Napa, but near Temecula,
Mhm,
and we
mhm.
all hung out there for a couple of days and just went wine sampling for a couple of days. So they planned these wonderful trips just for siblings, for us.
I don't know what the deal is for you guys to get together. For whatever reason, our video keeps dropping. But nonetheless, uh, I mean, you have had a very exciting time. And were you surprised that they embraced you and gave you a double dose of love? Because you were an adult. Apparently, you were an adult when your father passed away, and his wife dropped us all on everybody. The day before the funeral.
Yeah, but his siblings have always given me a double dose of love ever since I was a child. So their double dose of love has like been my entire lifetime.
Hmm.
um, in regards to his wife and their kids. That was about 6 years ago, and we've done our best to just like make up for the years that we didn't have together. And I think it's mutual that we feel that it was his loss because we get along so good and we love each other so hard. I'm trying not to cry right now because we do. We just love each other, and it's unfortunately that we lost a lot of years together,
from
but we got
somebody
love for
else's
each other.
from somebody else's decision. When you look back at it in retrospect, that your new brothers and sisters, did they share with you what kind of person he was and how much he missed out on because he wouldn't acknowledge you? So he didn't. Now you all have the same father, you and your sister and your brother.
Yeah, but we don't talk about him when we're together,
Hmm.
because I don't have anything for him. Like his wife, I love her to death because she gave me a brother and sister,
Hmm.
but he didn't ever do nothing for me except allow me to be on this earth and then
And
walk
look at all the
away.
stuff, all the love he missed out on from all of his
Exactly.
children. Yeah, I have a relative who is like that. And at last count, and he's never been married. And I don't know what's up with these chicks. He has, I think, 14 children. by several different women, and he would tell each one of them, from the first one to whoever was the last one. He would tell them, "Look, I got this going on. I got this many kids." And when he first started, he had 2 kids. And then Papa was a rolling stone. No, Papa was a rolling bulldozer, a rolling boulder, and he acknowledged every one of those children. And I was always like, "Why you keep making babies?" And he went, "Because they keep letting me have them. They keep wanting to have my baby. And I don't think that nothing's wrong with them wanting to have my child come out of their body." I was like, oh, I always thought that was very arrogant and very empathetic, and they all get along really, really well. So I have seen that dynamic work well.
Well,
And the fact that
I have,
he missed out on it.
yeah, yeah. I have an uncle and a cousin,
Mhm.
and I both think that they have about 11 children, but they raised all of their children inside their house.
See, it can be done. It
It can't
absolutely
be
can be
done.
done. So where do you think your creative forces have come from? Because you do a
Mm,
lot of different things, and you do a lot of different things very well.
thank you so much. Well, I started in the industry sewing. I used to work in my mom's factory when I was a child. I worked at Chandana Toys, making the Rodney Allen Whippy dolls, the JJ dolls, the Red Fox dolls, and the dresses for the first multicultural doll company in the U.S.
And who
Uh,
was that? You said doll company?
uh-huh. It was a subsidiary. It grew out of Operation Bootstrap, and
Mhm.
Mattel Toys backed it.
That
But
and you
they
said your mother had a factory. You worked in a factory where you guys made dolls for
yes, we
prominent African Americans, you know?
yes,
And when I was a little girl, I always wanted a Chatty Cathy. And
yeah.
I said, "I want one that looks like me. I want a brown Chatty Cathy." And they said, "We don't make brown Chatty Cathys." I said, "So you're going to deprive me?" And I must have been like 8 or 9 at the time. And I wrote them a letter, and I said, "I want a Chatty Cathy that looked like me." Never did get that Chatty Cathy. And after that, I didn't get it back into dolls until I became an adult. And
Okay.
people don't understand how important dolls and stuffed animals and toys are important to a child's growth and understanding of what's going on, and that they can do wonderful things if somebody is there to encourage them. So now you're working in your mother's doll factory. You're seeing all these magical toys coming to life. What did that say to you about who your mother was and how that shaped you? Working in a toy factory. I think you're like the third person ever I knew worked in a toy factory.
Thank you so much. Well, my mother made me a perfectionist when it came to sewing, because
Mhm.
if I made a mistake, she'd make me take it out and do it again. And even growing up, making our own clothes in elementary school, we were making all our own clothes, and so I grew up making all my own clothes. And I am very grateful to this day, because when all the kids had kids, Mom wouldn't let us have any. We had to have something else. If all the kids had this, we had to have something else. And so nowadays, all the kids got to have Jordans, or they got to have this, or they got to have that. And I'm just so grateful. Mom was like, "No, y'all can't have that." So we never had that craving to follow people,
Mhm.
to buy other people's brands and labels. She made us create our own. We used to make them jean patchwork boots,
Oh,
and platform shoes. The hats, the Commodores used to wear mom's clothes.
mhm.
Uh, but we just grew up sewing all our own things and making all our own things. And so when I was 16, I discovered Inner City Cultural Center, which is a performing arts institute. And everybody went there, from Glenn Turman to Denzel Washington and Janet Jackson. And when I was leaving there, I was like, well, at the performing arts school, they make you do a little bit of everything so you can
Mhm.
find your niche.
Mhm.
Well, when it was time to leave, I did a little bit of everything. And I was like, okay.
So it's important that when you are put in a position to make a difference and you follow through with that, it absolutely changes your life. I was just saying it absolutely changes your life when you find what your niche is. And you knew your niche was sewing, and you are very meticulous. And that, what do they say about wood, measure once, measure twice, cut once. And so your mother was like, get it right the first time, and if you don't, you're gonna have to do it again.
Yes.
So now,
And
was she a strict disciplinarian?
she was very strict. And when I was 12, she became her and my dad got divorced when I was 10. And when I was 12, she became a Jehovah Witness.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when we started separating ways at that part too. Um,
So
but
you don't think, even at 16, you don't think that parents have the right or wherewithal to whatever religion they're following, that they would indoctrinate you with following that, and were you like, I don't think I want to do all that, mom.
I was 17 years old when I finally said no, but I knew at 12 this did not feel comfortable for me.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time I was 17, I was like, no.
Gotta go.
Yeah. So I've always gone to non-denominational churches and new age churches where they teach the science of religion and they teach all the religions, the philosophy of all religions. So there's like one particular Christmas holiday, the minister wrote on index cards and he passed them out to everybody. And each index card had a philosophy or a saying from a different religion from
Mm-hmm.
all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody in the congregation got up and read their card. Every single card made sense. And he taught us there's truth in all religions.
All it's see that for me, it's not about religion as much as it is about faith.
Yes.
Because faith is believing what you can't see. I mean, we have faith in getting our $1 million contracts, and that keep me motivated. We have faith in our children. We have faith in what we do, and oftentimes we don't have faith in ourselves to believe that we can do, that we can make a change, that we can say, yes, this is good for me, and no, this is not good for me, and that allows us to speak. I'm going to say it: speak truth to power. And children are not supposed to be powerful. Children are not supposed to see what's going on and make a discerning decision about what's going on, because they told us, you a child, you stay in a child's place. And I was like, but wait a minute, what maybe my place ain't all the way back here, maybe my place is up there. You a child, stay in your place. So I got into a truckload I got kicked out of Sunday school when I was 6. Okay. So I knew
And
the whole religion thing. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I love faith-based churches. I love when they can talk about, different, and when we don't know what other people are doing, what they're thinking, how they're worshiping, how do we allow that to grow in us? And people allow that, because it's different, to fester in them. My mother said, you have friends, one of my best friends growing up, all of them was Jehovah Witnesses. And I went to the temple with them, to the Kingdom Hall. They go to the Kingdom Hall. And I went to the Kingdom Hall, and I listened to the whole sermon and everything. And then when they said, we don't celebrate, I was like, I'm used to celebrating any day that got a Y in it, every day that has a Y in it. So that's
yeah,
not gonna work for me. So
yeah,
I was like, girl, you don't have to worry about me coming back to the Kingdom Hall. And we stayed friends. And when we see each other, it's like we haven't seen, like we saw each other yesterday. So,
yeah.
and I'm not into that indoctrination. Let me think on my own. Let me see if this is what I need to do. So when you got to that place and you felt strong enough to say no, what did that do for your psyche? What did that do for yeah, I got the Tuesday thing going on right now.
I remember Art Evans took me to a Buddhist meeting and it felt comfortable. I liked it. And I remember one time my sister asked Art something about the Buddhist meeting because I had like turned my back on Jehovah Witness. I was like, this is not for me. I've known for
Mhm,
years for me, but I wasn't old enough to say no yet.
mhm,
And so Art asked my sister, he says, since she's been going to the Buddhist meetings, do you like her more? And she said, yes. She had to admit, yes, she's a better person than she was before,
mhm,
you know? So um, my peace comes from within. I remember when I was 12 years old And I remember I went to a funeral and people were talking about the dead person. And it was at that moment I realized that I never wanted anybody on the face of the earth to have anything negative to say about me. So I've done my best to live my life in that form. And if anybody does have something to say negative about me, 99.99% of the time, they deserved what they got because
They
they
just
probably
haters.
did something to me first, you
They're
know?
just haters. And when you have people always say, "Well, let me pray for you." I'm like, I don't just want anybody praying for me because you might be praying for my demise. People don't
Yeah.
understand. We're fighting in a realm with good and evil, and spirit gives us choice. Especially when spirit, we connect with spirit, when we connect to our earthly spirits and our spirit friends and family. And when we can create that around us, when we're not getting what we believe we need, you got to go out and find out how it's going to work for you. Were you
Yeah.
frightened when he went out there to say, "Oh no, I'm going to be a grown up," and people are going to say, "That's Tuesday kind of, hey girl, oh, I'm so glad to see you."
Yeah, no, I wasn't afraid, but
Mhm.
in regards to my family, it was difficult for them because I was just that rebellious child. And also being the youngest one is like, you said this, that's the baby, she don't know. She don't
Mhm.
know, and they being the youngest one, they didn't want to take my word when I had an opinion or said something. But after so many years, they was like, go ask the baby. Even to this day, they like, go ask the baby. It's like it just took them a long time to understand that I did have a lot of knowledge. I might have been the youngest one, but
They say out of the mouths of babes come the truth. And oftentimes, adults don't want to hear children tell the truth because children have no filter. Children have no filter, and they have no. They're just they're going to speak up and say something. And the elderly people, our elders, they speak up. They have no filter. And I don't know who the kids crack me up when they just gonna tell you straight up, "Mama, why she got that big knot on her forehead?" And you got to teach them, because I would always say, because she's different, because he walks different, that makes him a great person. Find out okay, you already know that his leg is missing, or you already know that he's blind. Find out something that you don't know about them, and then you come and form an opinion. Don't just take it off the rip. And our that's how we were raised, because and we were taught, you're no better than anybody else. Everybody starts on the same page, on the same level, no matter what part of the world you're in. You coming out, and kids are growing up, so it's our responsibility as the elders to give them as much love and encouragement as you can and teach them right. And sometimes that's why you can't be lying to kids about stuff. You can't be telling kids that ain't your father, that's your father. You don't know them. Oh girl, look over there. Them is your cousins. And I know that it's just to get a reaction, or just to see how far they can push your buttons, because they don't trust you, because you're a child. You don't know anything. And don't you sometimes you want to say, "I know way more than you do, because I see listen to the stupid." And you can't say that. She's stupid. I got smacked in the forehead one time for calling this lady stupid. And I was like, well, she was stupid. She was just a stupid woman talking stupid stuff. And my mother said, "Okay, you just stop talking." She didn't tell me to shut up. She just said, "Quit lying." She just said, "Okay, you stop talking. Go in the room
because
to my."
she knew it was the truth.
But scripture tells you, the Bible is one of the best books I ever read. I mean, because every time you go and read it, it's some different stuff. I read the Quran. You said this earlier. There's truth in every religion.
Yes.
And we want to separate the truth. We want to nitpick it. Oh, what? You're Islam? Well, I don't agree with a big portion of my family are Muslims, and we were able to see them. We were able to go to the mosque with my auntie. And one thing that got me was the men pray over on this side and the lady pray over on that side. And my thing was, what if we prayed together? Wouldn't the strength and the power of us be even more greater for the community? Then I found out Muslim men wanted to tell women what to do all the time, and they had to be compliant and subjective and subservient. I was like, oh, that ain't gonna work for me. They'd be, I'd be one of them ones that I done went outside without my brother, my husband. They'd be hunting me down. I'm like, no, this ain't gonna work. That's too strict. I ain't want to listen to my mother. You think I want to listen to some man tell me what to do? I respect them. I respect them all. But you got to go find out what is good for you, what is best for you and your growth. And a lot of times people are not going to get it. And this is the part that gets me, Tuesday. You're doing magnificent work in your community service, in your making all these beautiful costumes and all of it. Oh, and I got to be before I'm gonna get to the costume part, to the dress part. The fact that you keep going. You don't let anything, and with them dimples, I mean, you got to keep going. I'm just saying. Okay, now I said I was gonna get back to the sewing and all the dressmaking that you do. Now I know designing that you do. I was looking for the word. You actually got to design with Chaka Khan.
That was one of the most fabulous 2 years in my life. She has a designer that she's worked with for years, and then every 2 years she takes on a second designer. So she's always got two designers on staff.
Okay.
And so people might not see her a lot here in the US, but she does a lot of international touring. And my friend Elaine Booth called me up one day, and going to the Performing Arts Institute, a lot of my friends who I met there when I was 16 are still my friends today. And so when it comes to work, when you're good at what you do, you don't have to look for work because work will find you. So Elaine Booth called me up and she says, Tuesday, I'm Shaka's new assistant. She says, I'm going to give you some backstage passes and some concert tickets and bring a suitcase full of clothes. After the concert, wait outside Shaka's dressing room till I call you in. So I go to the concert. I got my backstage pass and I got my front row seats and I got this really big, huge suitcase. And so after the concert, me and my big suitcase, we're backstage. And my suitcase is so big, we're kind of blocking Frida Payne's dressing room door. And so I'm waiting and waiting. I wait about 20 minutes and Aline sticks her head out the door and she says, come on in. I walk in and Shaka says, you have 5 minutes. I opened up that suitcase. I laid outfits on every couch, counter, chair, whatever I could. Their clothes was everywhere. And Shaka said, I'll take that, and that. And that. Somebody cut her a check and let me sign it. So that was on Friday night.
That's a story right there. Chaka Khan. And she knows what she wants.
Yes.
And that's too great. Okay. And wait, there's more.
Yeah, that was on Friday night. So Monday morning, bright and early, she calls me up. She said, Tuesday, I just got off the plane. I love it because she always called me from the limo. She said, Tuesday, I just got off the plane. She says, I loved everything. Do you have anything else? So
Wait a minute. Well, Chaka Khan has called you from the airplane, getting off the airplane, deplaning.
Many times.
So that was like y'all modus operandi.
Yes. And so she says, do you have anything else? Well, I had a whole shop. And so she says, well, come on over. And so I went over her house and I took some more pieces. And I'm always going over to Shaka's house with a duffel bag. Like, it looks like a...
That's a wild analogy. That you said it looked like a body bag.
It does. It looked like a body bag. And so Shaka's used to me going over there. I'm going to throw in the body bag, then I'm going to come back to the story. But one day I was like real busy because it was like award show season and women used to beat on my door going, open up, I know you in there, let me in. We closed, but we be in there. So I was like really busy. And so Shaka was expecting me and I only had time to make one outfit for Shaka. And so she looking behind me like, where the body bag? Like, and all I had was, I said, Shaka, all I had enough time was make this one outfit. She saw that outfit. She's like, Elle. She's talking about Elaine. Elle, Go get my boots. Go get my boots. She said, Tuesday, I've had these boots for 8 years and never had anything to wear with them. And she wore my outfit on the cover of Jet magazine.
Oh my God. What issue, what year, so I can get a copy of that?
I will send it to you. I'll
Okay,
send it to you.
that is just awesome.
And
So then, did she spoil you?
she did. She said Tuesday, she says she let me look through her two closets. One is a whole room full of clothes. And then in her garage, the length of the garage, they had built cabinets where
Mhm,
all her show clothes were and her
mhm.
historical pieces and things like that. So she said, let's go one by one, because some things I want remade, some things I want a variation of. And so she designed clothes, I designed clothes, and sometimes we designed them together. Like I had one top that she really liked, and she changed the design on it, and we both liked it better, you
See,
know. And I turned that blouse into a dress, and I have a model that she's a big girl,
mhm.
and I asked her, I says, come over and try this dress on, because I need, to see how it fits, because I just made this pattern. And she says, I don't wear dresses. I said, well, it's not for you. I just need you to try it on so I can see how it fits and how it looks and make sure, it's hanging right.
Mhm.
She came over. She ordered 3 of those dresses. She says,
See,
I ain't worn no dress since I was 5 years old.
what?
But she ordered 3 of those dresses.
Uh-huh, the ones she don't wear. I don't wear dresses. See,
Mm-hmm.
see, and that's something that when you know, because you made an outfit for me. When it wasn't an outfit, it was the coldest raincoat I ever had in my life. Oh yeah. I mean, it was just, I just felt majestic in it. I mean, every time I wore it, and they said don't wear the same thing twice. And like on the red carpet and I'm like, who finna pay for the second outfit? Y'all sound real crazy. I'm gonna wear this thing till it fall off of me. Are you kidding? I mean, it was just so elegant every time I wore it. People would always say, who made that? Who made that? And at first I was like, none of your business. Why you need to know? Because then you're going to be going over there and I'll be like a footnote over here. And then I went, I'm not going to do that. And I told him it was you. And it had this big giant red sweep to it. It was red patent leather with the bell bottom sleeves right here with I mean, it was sharp. People that didn't like me love that coat. And it was long and I could just swoop it like Dracula around me. And then my grandson, well, my husband's grandson, I ain't claiming him for that one. He discovered the magic marker, and my coat was hanging up. It was someplace where he could get to it, and he took a black magic marker, and wrote all up on the back of my coat. And remember, I came to you, I was almost crying. I said, Tuesday, can you get this off? She said, and you were so straight up with me. You told me no with just the prettiest face. No.
Well, Mother Love, also too, because you had lost so much weight, you was wearing something that didn't fit you no more, and I'm gonna make you a new one, Mother Love. I'm gonna go downtown and find some red fabric and let you
I'll
on
get the
some
fabric.
purple.
Oh, I'll get the
Okay,
fabric. Don't even worry about it. Oh, don't even worry.
okay,
Wait a minute. And I would wait. Then on top of that, not only did he mark up my coat that was irreparable, he took that magic marker to my dining room chairs. They had a base, a nice, beautiful, and real comfy. Girl, and I didn't notice that because we rarely ate in the dining room. Girl, I pulled the chairs out because we was having every one, all 6 of them was marked up. It was like he was in a zone. Ooh, let me put some on this. Ooh, let me put some. And I couldn't beat the child because he's a child. But he could not ever get close to the magic markers like ever again. He was like 13 before I allowed him to have a magic marker anywhere near me. And this is his thing. Well, I don't remember that. Of course you wouldn't remember that. Everybody else thought it was funny. I was like, well, we found a guy that reupholstered them and they look like brand new. You would have never knew
good.
it was like that. And see, that's what you do. And each one of your pieces are pretty much custom made. Yes.
Yes,
So
yes.
what inspires you? Is it the artist? Is it the fabric? Is it the what it's gonna look like? And what is your process? They come to you and they say, Chaka Khan said, okay, well, she don't even tell you what she wants. Y'all already know. But say you get a new client. What's your process for bringing him or her in? And do you design for men?
Mother Love, I don't sew anymore.
You can have
I
somebody to do it.
they don't do the quality I do. I've had contractors do my stuff, and
Hmm.
mother love, if my jacket, and I do men's pieces, and I'll send you a link, but I did men's smoking jackets, and just and velvet um dressing robes, and
Hmm.
just very elegant stuff. But like, say for instance, if I get a contractor, there's 50 pieces to this jacket.
Hmm.
When he comes back, he'll have a jacket and about 8 pieces left, which means there's 8 pieces. That's like when you get your you taking your car motor apart and you got pieces left over.
Why you got pieces left?
Yeah, I'm not supposed to have pieces left over. And so, but mother love, Chaka Khan retired me right before my 2 years was up.
Hmm.
And I have to throw in too that one of my favorite dresses of all time.
We'll get that. Your favorite dress of all time. I don't know if she's gonna say my dress that she made for me, or well, I told y'all about
One of my
one of your. I'm sorry.
one of no, excuse me, one of the pieces that I made for Shaka Khan, there was a NAACP Night of Stars, and she sang "To Sir with Love" to Sidney Poitier.
Oh my goodness! I know they got a video of that somewhere.
Yeah,
Got
and
to have
I'll send you the wire image photo. But
Oh,
that's like my
that would be wonderful. Now let's talk about
but
what you're doing and what you've done, because you have booked comedy clubs, you have booked spoken word events, and you just keep it moving. Tell us about what's going on in the comedy clubs, and has
well,
it changed? Because I did stand up for 15 years, and it was I had a ball. I had a ball. The biggest
yes,
pushback was from men, because
yes.
they were in that macho, you should be at home, women shouldn't do stand up. I said, y'all just pissed that I'm funnier than y'all. Okay, so then I was the woman with angry black woman who does stand up, and I was like, I don't care what y'all say about me. I do what I want to do. I'm a grown woman. Okay, so then I started to see the I'm looking for the word. I started to see the foundation of stand up crackling. And now I became just talking about, sex and drugs and women and, not really storytelling. And I said, oh, then I found out if you take the cuss words out and you stay on task and stay on topic, you could become a motivational speaker and make way more money. So I was
Well,
like, okay, I can do that. And one of the elders had said to me, you didn't need to do stand up. What you need, and this, if you take them cuss words out and stay on task, girl, you could make $10,000 a pop. I was like, the drug dealers don't. That's drug dealer money. $10,000 a pop, and it became possible. And it's so much vulgarity in it, and so much misogyny. It just really, really turned me on. So when you putting on comedy shows, what do you look for in your comedians? Because I'm all
well,
over your toes, and I book comedy shows. I know what I'm doing, my love. I know you know.
well, mother love. When I finished up with Shaka Khan, she was going on. It was toward the end of my 2 years,
Mhm.
and she said, "Tuesday, I'm going on tour in 9 days, and I don't have nothing to wear." Which was funny to me because I made her outfit a day for about 2 years,
Okay,
sometimes two outfits a day.
that's
And
a,
so in 9 days, I made her 21 outfits, and I closed my shop doors and never turned back. But toward the end of when I actually got the shop, across the street was a spoken word. The comedy club was across the street,
mhm.
and that's how I ended up getting my shop. But I was honored to be able to get everybody from Damon Wayans to Steve Harvey on the stage, and
Mhm.
Kevin Hart and Mike Epps, and they just came up to the club, and I just managed it. But
Mhm.
when that closed, I actually opened a poetry lounge, so I haven't done any comedy, produced any comedy since then.
Mhm.
I went on to produce a poetry lounge and started writing poetry, and a poem I did. It's a poetic apology to every child ever sexually molested. I realized that I was helping people heal at these little venues around Los Angeles, and my poem was being requested. So I was like, if I'm helping people to heal in these little venues, I need to go global. So
Mm-hmm.
I shot a film. My film, Young and Naive, has won about 41 awards from around the world. And so
Color me surprised.
um, for last year, for Black History Month,
Mm-hmm.
my group came to me and they're like, Tuesday, I want you to help produce a tribute to Langston Hughes. And there's a Willia G Playhouse, which used to be the Inglewood Playhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Willia G passed away, but I think he had managed it for 35 years, so they changed the name. And so we had so much fun at this little playhouse in the park that I was like, hey, we're going to do this again. So the next month we did a tribute to Gil Scott Heron, which we're having a show tomorrow. It's a tribute to Gil Scott Heron. I
Uh,
was able,
oh, oh, wait,
it,
my heart gotta stop beating so fast. Wait a minute. Okay, because
and Gia
you
Scott
might not know
Heron's
this.
in
I love me some Gil Scott Heron, and it's Heron. Is it
yes.
Heron or Heron?
And
Gil
I'll
Scott
leave
Heron.
you tickets,
Pardon me.
Gil Scott Heron.
Oh, he is.
I'll leave you tickets at the door tomorrow if you can make it. So
Wait,
we
what
had
time is it?
so much.
Wait, what time is it?
7:30 to 9.
I'm gonna see if I can do that. I can't promise you that because the guy that does my schedule is not here, and I'm not allowed
Okay.
to go out without being unaccompanied. You know, I have to be in a
Okay.
controlled environment at all
I
times.
understand. But
Is he still
I'll
fine?
let you know.
Wait a minute, is he still fine? Gil Scott Heron.
Oh, oh, he gone, but his daughter's
Oh,
in our
wait, right.
show.
Oh, so who's doing it? I forgot.
Gia
Wait,
Scott
I forgot. I
Heron.
kept saying, wait a minute, ain't Gil Scott Heron dead? Then I said, well, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
ask too good because I kill off people all the time and they be alive and well. Somebody killed off.
Yeah.
You mentioned his name earlier, Art Evans.
Oh yeah. I had a meeting with Art last week. I'm doing a Art Evans biography. I've been doing a series of biographies over
Hmm.
at the Willie D. Art
Uh-huh.
Evans is February 6th. Ernie Hudson is December 12th. We just did Glenn Turman. I got Lawrence Hilton Jacobs. His is going to be March 19th. I was able to do a biography on Ted Lange, but it's so I'm bringing in these celebrities, these icons, and just having a sit down Q&A with them, and then the audience is able to talk to them as well and ask them whatever they want. So when I did the Langston Hughes one last February, we had so much fun. It's just
Taking on a life of its own, as it were. That is really going to be something. So the tribute to Gil Scott Heron is coming up on tomorrow. Okay, right. The tribute to Gil Scott Heron is coming tomorrow. And tell people how they can get tickets.
the website is iccc2 dot wootick.com.
Oh yeah, you'll have
That's
to send
short
me
for
that
Inner
link.
City Cultural Center.
You have to send me
Yeah.
that link. That was a lot of numbers, and I only got 8 brain
Okay.
cells left. So if send that to me,
Okay.
please.
And I will. And then they can also hit me at olivetuesday@gmail.
That's very easy, Olive too. So did you find out why they named you Tuesday?
I was born on a Tuesday, and I think I was supposed to be a boy named Sam Jr., but that just kind of didn't work out too well.
Nah. Sometimes when mothers come up with the names for their children, I mean, and Tuesday fits you so well. I mean, it just does. The light that surrounds you is like a Tuesday kind of light. You already started on Sunday. It got brighter on Monday. Then on Tuesday, it got even brighter. And look at what you're doing now. So now, when you talk about the movie Young and Naive, what made you want to pick that particular subject matter, and as an apology to people who have been sexually abused?
At my poetry lounge, people would go outside and hang out front for an hour, 2, 3, 4 hours. And I'm like, y'all know I got the key. We could have stayed inside. But it was like I had locked up the door and came outside, and I heard the tail end of a conversation. And April, Derek said, how would she know about something like that at such a young age? And the next day, I make a program for all my shows, and I put a homework assignment inside my program.
Mhm.
And I started putting a homework assignment inside my program because I'd seen the same people come back for 14 weeks straight from the time I opened the door, but they never got on stage. And I understood that the stage is not for everybody, but I also understood that they kept coming back because
Mhm.
there was something in their hearts they wanted to say. They just didn't know how to say it. So
Mhm.
I would put a prompt in there where you just answer one of three questions. And so it would, and the next day when I got up and I pulled out my homework assignment, it says, when I was young and naive. And thinking about Derek the night before, saying, how would she know about something like that at such a young age? Just prompted this story to come about, and it just manifested. And when the first time I did it on stage, it was so raw that the audience all just stood there in shock, and even the MC couldn't even move. He couldn't even step back on the mic, and I had to talk to the people just to like reel them back in, which was my first experience of something so heavy because I'm always working behind the camera. So this
Mhm.
time when I got this audience who's all sitting there like frozen face, like, what? I came back and I rewrote it. And I'm sorry that I didn't save a copy to keep the original. This was when computers was first,
Oh,
talking and
no.
stuff
Okay.
like that. So I didn't know yet. But so I did the story. I wrote it out, and at our poetry lounge, when I gave people homework, you could either turn it in and it would be read anonymously. You could turn it in and we would acknowledge that it's yours, or you could get on stage and do it yourself, but not doing your homework was not an option. And
Okay.
so after I had done this poem a couple of times, I was like, well, it's just a cute little story, and everybody has a cute little story. So I attached an apology on it. And when I attached the apology on it, it made a world of difference. Um, it was no longer just a cute little story. And I've had people of all ages, all nationalities, all genders come up to me after I did it and say thank you. I had one lady show up. I'm gonna try not to cry right now. She showed up. The only seat left in the house was in the front row. I'm like 4 lines into it, and she starts crying. This lady cries, and somebody says, Tuesday, you don't write poems, you write epics. And so this lady cried for the whole entirety. After I finished reading the poem, she says, Tuesday, I never thought somebody would apologize to me for what happened to me. I never thought somebody would apologize to me and not blame me for what happened. And she says, you knew my story word for word. And I've had to go console people afterwards. And so when I went to Nigeria after they screened my film, all these kids just ran over to me and hugged me and thanked me. And my sister, she at the end of my movie, people are holding these signs that say, I am Robin. And so the kids were like, can I have this sign? And I was like, yeah, you can have it. And my sister had she had sent me with some signs to Africa with I am Robin, so I could take some pictures. And on the back of it, she put a positive affirmation on it. These kids absolutely loved it.
How could they not? How could they not? So can we screen it? Are you screening it after your 45 awards? Are you screening it here in Los Angeles?
We will schedule a screening. I'm talking to the Willia G Playhouse right now about a screening date. But I will make sure that I give you access to it, Mother Love. And I do have some DVDs as
Oh,
well.
thank you. I would like to have that. It
Okay.
is so wonderful. You know, you said this earlier that you when you left the planet that there would be nobody to say anything negative about you because you worked your life to be good in all people in all things. When your time is up, because you know we're getting closer and closer every day, closer and closer every day, and you know that this is what it's gonna happen. And I mean, none of us are looking forward to it, but then kind of sort of I am because I think my body might is gonna wear out, but my spirit ain't gonna wear out. But this body will is wearing out now. I have on sneakers, just be walking down the street stump. I'm like, how come my body won't work because I'm getting more seasons. When it's your time, when you turn around and you look at what you've done in your life, what do you want your legacy to be?
Well, that I changed some people's lives, that I helped improve their life. I have a friend, his name is A.S. Cobb. He says, Tuesday, some of the best times in my life, I was with you.
You can't beat that with a stick. You
You
can't.
can't.
You can't beat that with a stick. And that's not something that, they can program into you, that they could teach you. And we never know whose life we're affecting. And we're all connected together. I wouldn't be able to get this opportunity had it not been for Cynthia Busby and Busby Promotions. I mean, we see each other every now and then, but you got to know. You got to know you got a home right here with the Mother Love Show. I don't care if you promoting toilet paper. You are welcome here. You are welcome and you are loved. And I want to give you a triple dose of love. Tell people about your website and how they can get tickets to the tribute to Gil Scott-Heron.
You can call 818-510-8788.
One more time.
818-510-8788.
Wait, I can't even, fingers don't even work. I can't even put them up. I don't even know why I'm trying. I'm staying in my lane. Know that you are
Okay.
loved, and we are so happy and honored and humbled to be in your circle. We love you. We love you. And babies, I want y'all to remember this. No matter how big or tall, short or small, thick or thin, it matters not what skin you're in. Everybody needs some mother love now and then. Here's my mother love to you, Miss Tuesday Connor. That's the rock star right there. And I am honored. Peace and blessings to all of you. And know that we love you.